Today I want to talk about a book. Wait, hold on. Before you click off the video, it's not gonna be like, this was a good book, and we're gonna like sit together and have like, okay, now you share what you interpreted. So the book I want to talk about in today's video is called Unscripted by MJ DeMarco. You'll hear me mention that book all the time in live streams, all the time when people are like, hey, any good book recommendations for code? And I'm like, yeah, MJ DeMarco's Unscripted. And they're like, that's not code related. And I'm like, I don't care, read it anyways, because that's how good the book is. This book explained to me the time dilemma, why I shouldn't sell my time. I shouldn't sell my time for salary. I shouldn't sell my time for hourly. This book kind of confirmed all of the thoughts that I was having about working for someone. I used to give myself a lot of shit for being a bad employee, and then after reading this book, it was just like, you're just not an employee, Josh. It's just not what you're meant to do. This is actually the book that I learned about S-Corps. And so when you ask me about business and I talk about S-Corps and how S-Corps are better than regular LLCs because you can save on taxes due to distributions rather than paying self-employment tax on everything in a regular LLC, this is the book that I learned it from. It's not just one of those like, feel good, if you just believe in yourself, you too can be an entrepreneur book. Now look, this is what happens. You're gonna make a bunch of money if you work really hard for like 5 years. Just work really hard, make a bunch of money, 14-hour days, 18-hour days, just do that for like 3 to 5 years. Take that money, invest it, live off passive income the rest of your life. And towards the end of the book, he actually gives you things and his methodologies that he uses to get passive income. It does give actionable advice with good tips. It doesn't like, just quit your job right now, today. It's like, it doesn't endorse that, and I don't endorse that either. He talks about, look, man, like, yeah, you probably hate corporate. Yeah, you probably hate working for somebody else. Yeah, it's not fun, but you gotta do it. And that's what I always say, and I totally agree with the book. You gotta work for somebody else before you can do it yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna end up selling Young Living essential oils or Herbalife or Mary Kay or doTERRA or Vilma energy drinks, whatever. You're gonna end up in one of these like, I'm an entrepreneur, and if you want to be your own boss, come work for me. Just like, hold on, wait a minute, you know, multi-level marketing pyramid garbage. You'll end up being one of these people on LinkedIn that's like, I help businesses build businesses, and it's like, have you ever had a business before that you like sold off after you built it from scratch using some skill that you have? And they're like, no, I just help. Okay, so shut up, leave me alone. That's what you're gonna end up if you don't actually learn a skill and work with those skills and figure out what you do like and what you don't like and how you can leverage those skills in the market to provide value to other people so that you can make money and then you can retire early. Sometimes when I'm not feeling motivated, which motivation is a myth, right? You just do things when you're not motivated, but if I'm really not feeling it and I'm just in a slump, I'll listen to this book. And then as soon as I turn this book on, I'll be like, okay, yep, I remember exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's possible. This is what I have to do. This is what I have to fix. This is what I have to change. This is why I bust my ass 7 days a week, so that in 2 to 5 years, I won't have to do anything that I don't want to do, and I'll be able to pursue all of my passion projects like VFX and movies and travel and being a pilot, traveling with my dad, taking my dad all around the country. He's never been out, you know, he's never been to Europe. He doesn't even know how to get a passport. You know, just doing all the things like the passion things that I want to do that I can't do right now. Because most people, they end up just taking the salary and they take their 14 days vacation and that's it. They use the 14 days vacation they get every year to go see the world, and they get their 2-day weeks. No, fuck that, screw that. I'm not doing that. I will work every day, all day for the next 5 years so that I can have the rest of my life to do whatever I want. And that's the difference. That's what he talks about. The difference is people that are willing to do this and the people that don't want to do this. If you don't know me, you might not know my story, but basically I got a degree. I got technical skills. I was stuck in my job, showing up at 9, leaving well past 5 o'clock every day, just about to be homeless because I got let go. I don't have any family to go back to because I'm supporting my family with my jobs. You know, and when you're looking at your bank account and it's going down and it gets really sad and you're really seriously facing homelessness and you've done everything correct in life, you're like, no, I'm never letting this happen again. So that was my moment where I was like, nope, I'm angry, I'm sad. How did this happen to me? Someone else got to decide my fate. And so that was just never, ever again, that was my moment. And he talks about this in the book. Like, we all have this deciding moment. He calls it the FTE, which is basically fuck this event. And that was mine. Just about to be homeless. And I did everything that society tells you to do. I got the degree, I got the skills, I got a good salary job. I did everything that you're supposed to do, and I just hated it because I don't think that life is meant to be lived in a cubicle from 9 to 5, and I don't think 10 days vacation a year is enough to live. I feel like a caged animal when someone's like, Josh, you got to be here from this time to this time and do this thing and have it done by this time, or else we're going to take it all away. After reading this book, I'm like, okay, good. I'm not the only one that feels this way, because when I talk to my coworkers, they're like, it's not that bad. You know, it helps the day go by. And I'm like, are you insane? Are you actually insane right now? You're telling me that it helps the day go by? Like, you don't get this day back again, man. Like, this is a Monday, 2016. You're not getting this day back. This is not, it just doesn't I couldn't do it. He talks about other people that experienced this, and he talks about how he experienced this, and just a whole bunch of other things in this book that really confirmed my motivations, everything I talk about on this channel. My life is just meant to be exploring and learning and growing and helping people and just discovering things, and I'm not gonna get that when I'm 65 years old and I get a golden wheelchair. You'll hear me say that a lot, golden wheelchair. It's because he says that here. Basically, the whole thing with a golden wheelchair is that you spend your whole life putting all your money into your 401k, and you hope it's there when you turn 65, but you're 65 and you probably don't have your physical health because you had a sedentary job doing some sort of boring salaried work. I mean, I know some people can when they're older, like my grandpa's 78 and he still does 100 push-ups a day. Like, okay, I get you, guy, in the comments, I understand, but there's a lot of people out there that end up just kind of letting their health go while they're living their salaried job life, and then they get to 65 and they don't have anything to spend their money on because they're not physically able to do things, or they don't feel like doing things, or they're just not healthy anymore and they're old. And I refuse to have that. I've seen it happen to my grandparents. I remember it was like a really exciting day when my grandparents retired, and then it's like once they retired, it's like they had nothing to live for. It was just like they didn't have purpose anymore. They didn't have anything to do, and they never created purpose for themselves. They just let themselves get told what to do by other people because they had been doing it for so long. And so once they retired, it's just like they didn't know what to do anymore. If I can do this, I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, or whatever the analogy is. Like I don't even know the analogy, right? There are way smarter people out there that are questioning, why can't they open a business themselves? Why can't they do this? You can, because look at me. Technically people are like, you never made it past junior dev. I'm like, I don't really know. I don't really care. I did a good job when I tried, but I stopped caring because they stopped caring about me. So, it goes both ways. And I just don't think, I already accept that I'm not the best dev, but why should I be? Why should I be the best dev for someone else? Why shouldn't, if I'm gonna be the best at something, I wanna do it for me, not for you. Like, I don't want you to be like, oh, great work. Here's an extra 3% that competes with yearly inflation. So it's basically not a raise at all. Like, I don't want to do that. I would be listening to this book at work about a year ago. I remember there's a part where he starts talking about how you have to come in, you have to go to these meetings, and like you're just thinking about ways that you can leave, and it was just like, it just hit like in here, and I got all teary-eyed for a second, and I just had to get up and I had to walk out, and I was like, I quit, fuck this, I'm done, we're never doing this again, you're not coming into work tomorrow, you're done. And like, I didn't have any backup plans. I was just so angry because someone had finally related to me. I talked to my friends and my family, and they're like, Josh, it's a job, it's just part of life, you just have to do it. And like, I'm here listening to this book that's confirming everything deep in here that I realize that I know is true, and I'm just like, are you guys just like crazy? Are you guys just like brainwashed? You're just gonna do this forever? And then finally someone says it in the book, and I'm like, are you me? So I get all emotional, and then I have to go down to like the second floor, and I just collapse against the wall, and I'm just sitting there just like, all right, Josh, you can't quit today. I understand that you're mad and that you finally understand that you're not alone. I knew that if I had actually quit my job that day, I wouldn't know how to do anything, because I didn't know how to do anything. I made like, maybe $100 a year from YouTube at the time. So the next step was to like, okay, you got to figure out how to make a buck. How do I make $1 without spending an hour or trading my time in a traditional way to get that money? How do I do it? How do I spend $1 without someone else telling me to do a task, and then I complete the task and they reward me for it? How do I generate $1 deciding, okay, this is something I want to do. How do I monetize this thing? So that's when I went into complete side hustle mode, and I tried to just do tons of different things to find out what worked. I tried selling supplements. I tried selling gym delivery boxes with like different gear and pre-workout packets and flavors, and I signed up for Lyft, I signed up for Uber, anything to not have to go into the office the next day, because I was losing sleep every single night. 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep. YouTube will demonetize you for saying certain words that starts with a D and an A, but basically, I was having some kind of like attacks at night, and I couldn't sleep because I was just so like, this is my life until I'm dead. What do? Do I get another job, and then another job's a little better, and I get free food at the next job? Maybe I can bring my daughter to work, but I still have to be here, and I still have to get told what to do. And it was just like, I was losing sleep every single night, and I couldn't handle it. So I was just on that side hustle train, trying every single thing. I tried to sell merch. I tried to sell pamphlets on how to work out. I tried to sell lots of things, but I didn't know how to sell. I didn't have an online business. I didn't know what to do. This book kind of gives you ideas of what to do, how to sell products, what kind of products that you have, what kind of niche you should pick. Like, you should pick something with a blue ocean, not a red ocean. Basically, a blue ocean is somewhere that's fresh and nice, and a red ocean is where the sharks are feeding and it's kind of saturated. So I made a promise to myself, all right, Josh, once your side hustle money doubles your salaried money, quit your job. I was making about $4,000 a month salary take home at my job. And not only did my side hustle money eventually double, it actually tripled. So I made like 13K one month. And that was when I was like, okay, don't get too excited yet, Josh. Is this sustainable? Can you repeat this? So I let that happen for a couple months while I was seriously considering quitting my job, but I couldn't do it right away because I was too scared. I was too much of a baby. I was like, what happens if it drops off? You know, what happens? And that's where everyone talks about these motivational videos about where you just take that leap. And in the book, he talks about, look, everyone takes the leap. There is no security, right? You've grown up thinking that this job is secure, your paycheck is secure, bi-weekly, whatever, your salary is secure. There's nothing. The only thing that is secure is your ability to hustle, your ability to sell product, your ability to sell yourself. The ability to sell is basically everything you got. Otherwise, you're just depending on someone else, and there's nothing secure about that. That's not healthy. But I can tell you, after taking that leap and after doing it, there is no greater feeling than waking up on a Monday, like today. I can wake up whenever I want, do whatever I want, and I know the consequences exactly of making the choices that I make. If I don't work, I don't make money. If I don't make this product, if I don't work on this thing, I'm not gonna make money. I get paid on results of what I do. And so there's some give and take there. Like if I don't wanna work, if I don't wanna make a video for a couple days, I'm aware that immediately my money is going to go down. And I know that if I work a whole bunch more, my money will probably go back up. If I make a whole bunch more products and push those things, my money will probably go back up. If I wanna take a week off, because Classic WoW released, what is it? 3 minutes ago, it's 4:03 right now, I can just play Classic WoW for the next month because I've just been working so hard and been saving all my money, right? And it wouldn't matter. No one's gonna be like, hey, get back to work. There's no greater feeling than that. And knowing that if someone took it all away from me, I know how to get it back. Because I did this alone, I did it by myself. I did it from scratch in a saturated market in 2018, and I know how to do it again, and I could do it again. But now I have leverage. Now I have the knowledge that no one can take away. And not only that, there's a brand, so you'd have to go into people's brains and erase my name from their brains, which is more secure than a job. No one knows who you are when you're just a nobody working a salary job. At least I'm out there. Hey guys, I'm having a hard time. Can somebody help me? You know, like at least I have that to fall back on. I know how to do it again. And that sense of I have the skills and I can cultivate the skills. And not only that, I could teach other people these skills because I didn't think I could do it. And so if you're out there thinking that you can't do it, I could teach you how to do it because I've done it, and it feels unreal. And that's probably the greatest feeling about, you know, I still have to work every day. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not financially retired. I'm not financially independent. I just have savings, and I know the direct consequences to everything I do in my life, rather than just being like, is the boss gonna make another deal so that he can get another project for me? So that, you know, I'm not depending on someone else to decide if my salary gets to continue or not, or if my hourly gets to continue or not. It's based on me. I work, I get paid. I don't work, I don't get paid. Unless you set up some passive income models, but you need enough money to be able to put that into passive income to where it generates a return that matters. For every $1 million you put into like a municipal bond, you would get $4,480 back. So you multiply that, you know, and that scales up pretty nicely, but all you gotta do is make $1 million. $1 million, that's a lot of money, you know? What most people do is they're like, I need $1 million, and I think that I'll die before I run out of money. And like, that's terrible. You gotta think about cash flow. You need money coming in without your base amount of money leaving. It's all about passive cash flow that you're trying to get, not just like, well, you know, this is how much money I have and this is how long I think I'll live. Okay, this is what traditional people do. That's not a good idea. Don't do that. You need money coming in all the time. And then not only do you have money coming in all the time from your investments, which you talk about different investments into the market, into real estate, not so much in detail. There's other books for that. I could talk about those maybe if you want. But basically, you need cash flow all the time and a lump sum that's generating you that cash flow. But the problem is, it's like when people talk about real estate, you know, just invest in real estate, Josh. Okay, there's a couple things here. First off, no bank's gonna give you a loan if you've already maxed out your personal loan, and it's very dependent on your credit. No bank's gonna give you a loan if you haven't had a business for 2 years. Okay, bet you guys didn't know that. And then also, how do you generate down payments that are like $60,000 to $75,000, like 6 to 10 times before you generate enough money to never have to work again? Because if you buy one rental property and you shave $200 off the top, you had to save $75K to make a passive $200 a month, you know? So how do you do that like 10 times to where you're getting $2,000 a month, $750,000, then you got to pay taxes on that. It's just like no one talks about the ramp up to real estate, and that's the problem. Real estate's more complicated than you think, you know? Whenever I start to feel like entrepreneurship is old, like I don't feel like working, this is done, over with, I've never had the thought I'd like to go back to work ever. I never had the thought I'd like to go back to an office. I never had the thought I'd like to work for this company. I never really think about that, but there are some days where I'm like, oh, I want a vacation, but I know the bigger goal is to just hustle right now so that you can have a life that's, you don't need to take a vacation from, basically. But anyways, on the days that I'm feeling real low, I'll go down a road and I'll just go on a Monday morning at like 9 o'clock, 8:45-ish, and I'll just look at the Starbucks line. And I'll look at the people in their cars going to get their little Monday morning pick-me-up, because that's the best thing about their day, I guess. And I'll just look at their faces in their cars, and there's no amount of grande mocha cappuccino frappuccinos that's gonna, no, it's just, I'll just go watch the people on their lunch hour with their little ID badges going to get their little quick little subs so they can go back to the cube, so that they can deduct that off their end of the day, so that they can leave at 5 instead of 6 o'clock. Oh, I didn't go out to lunch, I just got the sub and I was only gone for 10 minutes so I could leave a little earlier today. And that's enough to motivate me to be like, this is your other option, Josh. You go back to living that script that everyone is supposed to do, that you're told to do. But if you go off script, as soon as you go off script, you got to write it yourself. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So for all you people out there that are thinking there's got to be more to life, I don't want to do this anymore. Why do I hate my job? Why do I hate my life? I have all the things I'm supposed to have. And if you think there's more to life, there is. Let me tell you that there is. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of hustle, and it's gonna be hard. And you're gonna fail a whole lot before you figure out what works for you. And that's where people stop. Like, I just listed like 7 different side hustles that failed before I figured out the one that I didn't necessarily know would take off. And now I do that thing. And now I'm trying to figure out other things all the time on the side, so I have multiple cash flows. When you get your job, what you don't realize from the business perspective is like, you just showed up and started cashing checks. Your goal should be to be the one offering the paycheck. Why be an employee when you can be the employer? There's gonna be people out there that disagree with me, and I understand that a lot of people are just trying to make more money and just get a better life. You know, just get a job that's, you know, takes you to a better place so that you can think about these things and start to plan your exit, I guess. That's what I did. I would, if I had to do it all over again, I would go in, I would learn code, I would get a job, and I'd start planning my exit, because I don't want to do this, but I have enough money so I don't have to think about just making ends meet every day. So that's what I use. I leverage code, and then I plan my escape, and then I execute on my escape, and I try to maintain that for as long as possible so that I can put that into investments and then retire. That would be what I would do over again. Yeah, I would use code because it's a decent industry. I have the skills to do it. I know how to sell myself. I know how to do things, and it gives you enough buffer time usually to figure out your escape. But anyways, this book really just kicks my ass. I would suggest reading it if you're looking at life in terms of like, do I have to do this until I'm 65? No, you don't. I don't go to a job, and it's the best thing in the world. And I wish everyone could wake up every day and decide to go have lunch with their kids, take their kids to the park, take a day off, do whatever they want, and not be beholden to someone else being like, well, we're taking that away, or, well, enjoy your financial ruin on your credit now, you know? That's just what I want for everybody, and that's what I'm here to do. So I'm here to help you get a job if that's what you want, so you can take that time and get that financial buffer to figure out your escape. Or if you're making that escape, hey, I can help you do that too. And that's why I like doing this, right? They're like, well, how are you so anti-job, and how do you help people get jobs? That's why. You get the job, you use that as a buffer time to figure out what you really want in life, and then you go do that thing. And that's what I can help you do, either one, because you need to do both. So that's this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Read the book. I'll link it down in the description. MJ DeMarco, Unscripted. Maybe I'll do more book reviews if you like these kind of passionate videos, but hope you guys have a good one. I'm gonna go play some classic WoW, because I can. And I'll see you in the next one.